All right, rapid reaction. New York Jets losers to the Patriots. Get used to it. We're not beating this team for another decade. Let's be honest. As soon as old Gerard Mayo got fired, it was all over for the Jetsies. At least when it came to the Patriots, because if Mayo got fired, that meant that Vrabel made him out of clay, was going to the Patriots. He was going to stabilize that franchise, and it meant he wasn't coming to us. Remember, he was our first choice. We made him an incredible offer. He liked it. He said, yeah, this would be great, but I got this other opportunity over here with the Patriots, which made lots of sense. And when you combine Vrabel and McDaniels and Drake May, they are going to be very tough to beat for the next decade plus. So, not surprising, 42-10. Get used to it. Drake May was incredible, a 157 passer rating. I don't know how he could have done any better. He went 19 out of 21, 256 yards, 12.2 average. Jesus. 5 touchdowns, no picks, 1 sack, and he's not a perfect rate? What? Weird, but that's that weird passer rating formula. On our end, the defense looked terrible, but we have a bunch of practice squad players coming in and playing now. Aaron Glenn said in the post-game press conference he was not happy with the effort. I didn't see any effort issues, but that is kind of noteworthy, and that is what all of the beat reporters are focusing on. When it's the effort, that's not great. Personally, I didn't see any effort issues. I just saw a team full of people who stink. You're going against an elite quarterback with a bunch of practice squad players. What do you expect? Anyway, Breece Hall, and hopefully he's okay, left the game late with a knee injury. He banged his knee on the turf. Good old MetLife AstroTurf once again. But he wound up 14 carries, 111 yards, 7.9, 1 touchdown, that long 59-yarder. And now he's over 1,000 for the season, so that's nice. Gets us off the schneid of no 1,000-yard rushers since 2015. It's been really rough for the offense of the Jets over the last decade plus. Brady Cook wound up 19 out of 33, 152 yards. Doesn't look as bad as it was. He could not do anything other than in garbage time. So all the stats that he did accomplish, mostly garbage time. When it actually mattered, he looked like a practice squad player, which is what I told you he was. And a lot of you out there wanted to say, let's give him a try. Put him in. It can't be worse. It can always be worse. And Cook was not ready. Cook should have been a redshirt season for him on the P squad. And see you next year, and hopefully things can maybe click for him a little bit to where he can develop into a backup, and maybe he still will. But as of right now, he's a tank commander. So thank you for your service, Brady Cook, as a tank commander. By losing and by Cleveland winning against the Steelers, which was probably the most exciting development of the day because that drops Cleveland down and moves us up to number 3. As of right now, as of this moment, we're number 3, pending the Giants-Vegas game. Now, we have a better strength of schedule than both of them, so no matter who wins, we probably need even more help, even if we lose next week. Because the lower your strength of schedule, so like if Vegas wins, that'll be their 3rd win, but then we'll be tied with them, but they'll still be ahead of us. So then we would need them to win again next week to move ahead of them. So we'll see how it all pans out. But right now we're up to 3. And if there's been reports that the Giants are going to look at Fernando Mendoza, which is really surprising. When I say reports, Country Club Connor and others, reputable people. So now the reporters apparently asked Aaron Glenn about his relationship with Woody Johnson. That's another way they're going to character assassinate Aaron Glenn. They're going to get Aaron Glenn fired out of here, I tell you that much. And it's a shame because I do think Aaron Glenn's a good coach. I don't know if he's a good head coach, But these reporters are not going to let him survive, not after the way he treated the media. And it's unfortunate because the Jets, we need to develop a coach. We're not gonna get somebody who's ready made and good to go. Vrabel was our best shot. And as soon as Gerard Mayo got fired, I was like, okay, it's going to be a decade plus for us of more pain because Vrabel was our best shot. So other than that, you're going to have to develop a coach, but Aaron Glenn decided to be prickly and make fun of Rich Cimini, and so you can't do that with the media. We've been talking about it all day, talked about it on Coffee with Frankie, and so another sneaky trick they do is, how's your relationship with Woody Johnson? Which is basically, putting the thought out there like, okay, Woody's going to be mad. Now, Glenn said that Woody believes in him and he's glad he took this job. Woody knows I'm not going to BS him about anything at all. We're always going to be straightforward with each other. Number one thing is we have to get better. What are those things we have to do to get better, to put our heads together, figure out what steps to take? I know there's a belief in me and I have a belief in him. All right. So I think he handled that question pretty well. But it is a way they're going to keep. They have so many tricks. That's the other thing with the media. They have so many tricks in their toolbox. They have so many ways they can get you. He made such a mistake being prickly with them. Not that you shouldn't attack the media. Leave the attacking of the media to me and to other people who can afford to do so. When you're the head coach of the Jets, it should be cliche time, cliche, cliche, cliche. That's how you deal with them. It's a shame. They're going to kill him. Figuratively, not literally. In politics, they assassinate. In politics, if you don't go along with what do you want to say? In politics, if you don't go along with the mainstream belief, the norm. If you don't go along, they shoot you, they kill you, they try to kill you, they assassinate you. That's what happens in politics. Well, in sports, they don't do that. It's not that serious, but. And if they don't assassinate you in politics, they at least try to. Reagan, Trump, But in sports, if you don't go along with the norm, then they character assassinate you, and then you lose your job. So, I don't know, very poor, I would say, understanding of how to handle the media. And one of these days, we'll get a head coach who knows how to handle the media. It's sort of like job one of this job. You can talk about everything else you want. I mean, the most important things in football are getting the quarterback and getting the play caller. The head coach, they should be great at dealing with the media and then, evaluating talent and so forth. But the media is a huge part of it. I don't know why all these coaches come in and they don't know that. They don't get, I don't know, Eric Gelfan's not good at telling them, or they don't believe it, or I don't know what it is. But nonetheless, that's what's going on now. So we'll see what happens with this Giants game. Breece Hall says the knee is fine, doesn't think he'll need testing, so that's really good news. So that's breaking news as we're talking here today. It did look fine when he went down. It wasn't one of those things like he actually banged it on the turf. So that made me think, all right, he's going to have some bruising, and it's not great that we have AstroTurf, but you were fingers crossed, or hopefully it's just some bruising. Now that he's got 1,000 yards, I would say, Breece, guess what? You're not playing next week. All the indications are that we want to re-sign Breece, and I would say, yes, please, let's do it. As we try to figure out this quarterback situation. But, people have started to say the Giants might look at a quarterback now, even though they have Jackson Dart that they took in the first round just last year. And the excuse there is, well, Jackson Dart was playing good with Daboll, which is kind of true. He's running around with Daboll. Running around and playing quarterback are not the same things. That's a longer discussion for another time. But, he was getting better results, I guess, because he was running around and, doing that and getting yardage and running into the end zone and doing his stupid dance moves. But now they got rid of Daboll, so the excuse can be, well, this was Daboll's guy. Joe Shane could be like, this was Daboll's guy. He wasn't my guy. I didn't have nothing to do with it. Now, Mr. Mara, I wanted some other guy. I wanted Shador. Hey, I didn't want this guy. This was Daboll's guy. Hey, Daboll. Right? Blame game. Keep your job. Blame everybody. So they could blame this whole thing on Brian Daboll, he's gone. That's a way for Joe Shane perhaps to keep his job when John Mara comes in. What the hell happened here? Daboll, blame the Daboll man. And and if that's the case, then you may say, well, they might wind up with the first or second pick. Why don't we just take Fernando Mendoza or Moore or whoever they like? It would be one of those two, but. So those reports are emerging, whereas before all the reporting was, well, at least the Giants know they have their quarterback. Now it's a little not so sure. So we'll have to watch that one. Country Club Connor Hughes is the one we'll have to monitor on that. He's going to tell us what's going on one way or another. And that's what his tack is now. It was when Daboll was here, boy, oh boy, was Jackson Dart good, which was like, not really. It was sort of, sort of, but it certainly did get worse afterward. But he also got knocked out a bunch of times with concussions. So maybe the concussions are making him play worse. Maybe he's a little foggy. So that's where we are as of now. We're 3-13. We're in third place. Looks like Tennessee's going to lose again, so they'll be 3-13, but we have an easier strength of schedule, so we're still ahead of them. They're not jumping up past us, those bastards. But it looks like we're kind of locked into, I don't think we can, no, we certainly can't do any worse than 7th, I don't think. Well, I think New Orleans is going to win that game. It has won that game. So New Orleans has like 6 wins now. Boy, and look at Tyler Shuck. Let's look. Tyler Shuck, another great game. He's the man. So New Orleans definitely does not need a quarterback. Ward, okay game. So Shuck went 22 out of 27, 333, 2 tutties, no picks, 2 sacks, 142.7 rating. That kid is good. I told you so. Cameron Ward, 21 out of 40, no bueno, 251, 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's good. 88.6 rating. So Ward is developing. Shuck is there, for my money. So that's their 6th win. So New Orleans, we cannot. It's impossible for us to fall any farther than 7, and that's even unlikely. So I think the farthest we could fall is 7 right now, and there may be some math wizards out there saying, no, actually, furthest you can fall is 5th, 4th, 6th, maybe, so we got to see. But right now we're 3rd, and then the Indianapolis lost again with Old Man Rivers, and now there's 4 teams tied at 8-8, and they have the strongest strength of schedule, and that's why they're at 18 instead of 15. But if some of those damn teams, Detroit, Baltimore, Minnesota, could win and Indianapolis could lose, that pick could go all the way up to 15. That would be fantastic. But it's guaranteed to be no lower than 18. So again, these are desperate times for the New York Jets as we are looking at the draft once again already. But what else are you going to do? It's going to be a long time. It's going to be a problem. As soon as Vrabel didn't come here and went there, it was going to be a problem because Drake May was elite. He just needed a decent coaching, and then he got Josh McDaniels, who's excellent. So, over. They're going to be, it's going to be the Bills and Pats for the next decade, guys. I told you that. Anyway, John Mechie, 3 catches, 41 yards. Isaiah Williams, 4 catches, 30 yards. Adonai Mitchell, 3 for 22. Stone Smart, 2 for 18. Breece Hall, 2 for 18. So, leading tackler, Quantez Stiggers. Why is it that every time we had a big hit, whether it was Stiggers or, Isaiah Davis on special teams, every time we have a big hit and we stick somebody, the guy comes up and he's injured. It's like, yeah, good tackle. And it's like, now he's got a shoulder. Now he's got this. Now he's got that. Now he's concussed. I don't know. But Stiggers, 1 tackle for loss. It's hard. This defense was just terrible in the first half. And we're going to have to fix it somehow. Try to anyway. But Peyton Page had 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. That's good. He's a guy off the practice squad. Maybe he can make the roster next year. Jasir Taylor had one nice tackle that comes to mind. Jermaine Johnson continues his sackless streak. He did have one tackle for loss, one pass defensed. As he makes his way back, there's nothing really to look at. Nick Folk, 1-for-1 field goal, 1-for-1 extra point. He continues his excellent season. We'll see if he wants to come back. Our punter continues to be good. He's coming back. We know that. We got to sign Kene Nwangu. I would sign him immediately. We got to fill out some of this roster. You wonder if Stone Smart or Jelani Woods might get a contract. Jelani Woods had his first catch in 3 years. One catch, 4 yards. Stone Smart's been getting a little bit of garbage time play here the last couple of games as Mason Taylor's been out. You wonder if you sign one or both of them to minimum contracts just to fill out the roster and just, as tight end 3 and 4, they seem pretty decent in those roles, So we'll see. But there's really just not a lot to like here. And what you're looking at with the Patriots is, they're basically on their way. They're a little faster than we thought. Drake May has played even better than we thought. We already thought he was elite. I did. But he's played even better than I thought he could play. I mean, I knew he was elite, but now he's like an MVP elite, and it's crazy. And that's going to continue. I mean, what's going to hold up the Patriots over the next decade? Is you got a young elite quarterback, you got a youngish, decent coach at least. McDaniels is not leaving. That's the other beautiful thing that they did. Do you really think Josh McDaniels is going to leave for another head coaching job? He's already tried that twice and it failed. I think he's just going to stay right where he is. I don't know. Maybe eventually he might think about it, but I think that's the other beauty of this. McDaniels is not going anywhere because that's a problem. If you hire a defensive coach, then you hire an OC, and even if the OC is great, eventually they're going to leave to get a head coaching job because everybody wants those guys. Well, Josh McDaniels already tried that route and didn't work out too good for him. So maybe not. Maybe he'll just, hey, I got a young QB. I got a great HC. Got a great situation here in New England where I made my bones. So New England's going to be a problem for a long, long time. So is Buffalo as long as Josh Allen plays. And what are we going to do? I don't know, but we'll be chronicling as the media tries to character assassinate Aaron Glenn, as the Jets try to struggle and get out of the ghetto of the NFL. And hey, another day, another loss, another day staring at Tankathon. That's the Jets. I'll see you next time.